Hey there guys, welcome back for another episode of Mortal Realms Monday Magazine Review. Now obviously this is part of the 3 videos that I've uploaded this week because of the hard drive problems that I've had a delay. If you check back to issue 54, the intro to that I give a bit more of an explanation on what went on. But long story short, lost a bunch of footage, having to re-record, so models are rebuilt and already painted up. This guy, however, comes with this issue and I hadn't yet painted him, so I will be painting him up, and if you click the link up in the top corner there, you can see the painting video for that. And he is the Knight of Shrouds. So obviously we got a Knight of Shrouds on the ethereal steed, and this is now him without the steed. So we'll just bring this close to the camera, let it focus. So there he is. Obviously I've gone ahead and based him. I just need to prime him now and paint him up, and I'll be doing that once I've recorded this video. So yeah, here he is guys. So issue 56, we get to discover the Daughters of Kane, we get the Knight of Shrouds, and we get a new Warscroll and battle plan. Now obviously it's fallen apart a bit because I have been reading through and using this issue since I recorded the original footage, so we'll try and keep it together, much like my life. But yeah, so the Daughters of Kane. The Daughters of Kane are a fanatical warrior cult of elves. They are cruel, zealous and utterly dedicated to the destruction of chaos. Now originally I thought these were the dark elves of fantasy, but they don't seem to be. They seem to be their own army. It seems that they've split the elves up. Like I said many times before, I'm not fully up on Age of Sigmar. In fact, Mortal Realms is my first delve into it, so probably like many of you, I don't have a huge amount of knowledge on it, but I am trying to piece it together and associate how I know Warhammer to be based on the old fantasy, and trying to get that mindset of how they've converted things over and what armies are what armies. Obviously some of them are new, some of them are a slight mix of the old ones or some sort of change of the old ones. But yeah, so these are what I thought were dark elves, but it seems to be that they are more just the female side of the dark elves. So yeah, which is a little bit weird that they're part of chaos, sorry, the order, and not destruction, or well, I suppose they wouldn't really be chaos, but yeah, they just don't seem like they'd be more order, maybe their own thing. But anyway, so we've got Morathi, the Shadow Queen, the Realm of Shadow, and a Violent Order. Then we've got a little bit here on Chaos, so War Herds. The strongest and most brutal of the beasts of chaos are found in the War Herds. These bull-headed creatures have an insatiable appetite for flesh and blood. Kind of like giant minotaurs or minotaurs, aren't they? So we've got Scigors, Gorgons, which reminds me of Small Soldiers. Good old movie, that one. The Gorgonites. So if any of you guys have seen that film or know what I'm on about, throw a like just for the Gorgonite reference there, please. So we got the Blood Greed. Obviously a bit of information on each one. Then we've got the Realms, the Everspring Swath or Swathe, Part 3. In the Age of Chaos, Nurgle began his conquest of the Realm of Life. He sought to first subtly poison the realm before attacking in overwhelming forces. The wars that followed would scar Giran and its inhabitants forever. So during the Age of Chaos we had divine visitations, dwindling beginnings, the Swath nations at war, and the curse of the Glotkin. And then obviously on this side we get some more history and Nice bit of reading there. Then we've got the Stormcast Eternals Knight Vexillor. Knight Vexillor, or Knights Vexillor, carry Sigmar's sacred banners. They use these artifacts to invigorate their fellow warriors and unleash incredible magical powers in battle. They are brave, inspiring, and utterly deadly. So they're banner bearers basically, but they get some cooler looking banners. And there's one right there. Now I don't think we get any of these in our collection, which is a bit of a shame we don't get one, but I think the closest we got was the other guy with the I think it was a skeleton type thing or something up on here. I don't think he was one of these, but yeah. Then we got how to build the Knight of Shrouds. Super easy. He is push fit, but as always I recommend clipping a millimetre or so off the pegs, just so that they close a bit better, and also shave down the length of the peg. So if we can get the angle right, if this is the peg, want to shave off a small edge coming down this way, and what that will do is as you push it together, that will allow any air in the hole will come back out, and you'll get a more snug fit. Just don't clip the pegs too short, because obviously as you can see here they do need to go through this part to clip into this part, but I say just a small amount off the top, just to make sure that it isn't too long and forms a gap when pieced together. But yeah, he's nice and simple, nice and easy, and as you can see he just fits together simple there. Now there is a hole here where this piece clips into. I found that it placed it a little bit too close to the front, so I cut the peg flat and then glued it on just a little bit further back. It still covers the hole, but it doesn't overhang the edge as much. But yeah, there it is. Excuse me. So then we got how to paint the Knight of Shrouds. Now obviously I'm doing a video for this one. You can check that up in the corner here on how I paint him. Otherwise you can follow the guide here. Personally I don't like the Narlock Oxide ghostly look, or the blue cloaks. I think the blue cloaks are horrible looking on these. I prefer the darker black cloaks, or at least a darker blue with this blue as a highlight and then this blue as a fine highlight, but obviously that's just personal preference. So they obviously go through the guide showing how to do highlighting and whatnot with all the different shades and colours and stuff. And then moving on, we get his Warscroll. So obviously he's on foot, so he's a 6-inch move. He's got 4+ save, 10 bravery and 5 wounds, and he's got a weapon, the Sword of Stolen Hours, which obviously it's a ranged weapon, so it's a 1-inch, 3 hit, 3 wound, but he gets 4 attacks, which is pretty cool. 2 damage, I'm assuming that is 2 damage per attack, I think that's how it goes, obviously per attack that hits, and -1 rend. So each time a wound is inflicted by this model's Sword of Stolen Hours slays an enemy hero, heal 1 wound allocated to this model. So that's not bad. So if you get him up fighting another hero and you kill that hero, he gains a wound back, which is pretty cool. Obviously your opponents aren't going to have too many heroes, 2 maybe 3 at the most, so chances of this guy killing all 3 of them are slim. But you know, you probably kill one guy and then move on to another one and do a bit of damage there before losing him. But yeah, that's not bad. And then obviously we've got how to use his abilities here, and then the battle plan. So the Terror in the Tomb. Bold warriors from the Sacrosanct Chamber have been dispatched to secure a long lost tomb in the Scigors. However, they have arrived too late, and evil spectres now fill the Barrow's forgotten halls. They must stop the flow of malign spirits before they are overrun. then obviously we've got this showing where this battle is taking place and where the armies are moving through and such. Just gives a little bit more life to the campaign that we're fighting, doesn't it? Right, so objectives. We've got 3 objectives, 3 mats, and the objectives are right in the centre of the centre mat, and then 1 on where the 2 mats join. So we would have 1 here. Let's see if we can get this back in shot. If this was the mats, we would have 1 here, 1 here, and then another 1 here. And then long objectives, long board edge is where you set up 6 inches in. The armies for the Night Haunts, we get the Knight of Shrouds, on the Ethereal Steed, Reignor the Grimhaler, 5 Glaverave Stalkers, and 2 lots of 10 Chain Rasps. And for the Stormcast Eternals, we get Xandria Azure Bolt, Lord Arcanum on Celestial Draco line, and the Lord Exorcist, 5 Sequitors, 3 Castigators, and 4 Gryph-hounds. Right, so next week, obviously this time you guys have been lucky and had 3 issues now, all today, so hopefully you find time to watch those. But next week we get issue 57 with the Hex Raves, or Black Knights. Now I've already decided that for that video I will be painting up the horse and the Hex Raves, so the Hex Raves as one, and then in a second video for next week as well I'll also show you how to paint up the Black Knight portion, which will be, if I can get him off the steed. So obviously I've got them on the steed there, they are magnetised, which I will show in next week's video as well, but take it off. So I'll do a separate video where I'll paint this up and you can see how that will fit over the top here, or take it off carefully and we can clip this guy on. So yeah, there we go. So we'll be painting this up for that issue. Then issue 58, we get 2 new paints and no large battle mat. The battle mat in issue 58, they actually mess up and forget to put it in there. For Europe and Australia, hopefully by the time you guys get to these issues they will have sorted that and you'll get it in that issue. If not, then assuming they do the same for you guys as they did for us, it will be in issue 62. Now issue 61 we actually need to use the mat, so you won't be able to play, if you're playing the battle plans, you won't be able to do issue 61 until you get issue 62, when you'll get that mat in there, unless you're lucky enough that they fix the problem and you get your battle mat with 58. But also with that we get a shade, Caribou Crimson, and another pot of Retributor armor, because if you're painting the gold guys you're probably going through that quite fast, and if you're like me you've probably got a couple of pots just sitting around waiting to be used because you're barely using the first pot that we got. But there we go guys, that does bring us to the end of the video. Obviously as always you've got the price up on the screen here, and to those of you recently subscribed, big warm welcome to you, and those of you who are already subscribed, thank you for your continued support through this little disappearance that I've had to have the last couple of weeks. All support from all of you guys is always much appreciated, whether it's commenting and interacting with the channel, hitting those like buttons and subscribing, it is always appreciated. So yeah, until next time guys, take it easy, keep painting those minis.